Hey treasures, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to carry on with my preteen stories, and I'm going to tell you about the time that I dated this guy about 13 times. And I would say, you know, typically if you date someone that many times and you break up, it's toxic, but this was the farthest thing from toxic, and so I'm going to tell you about it. So if you guys want to hear about the time that I dated this guy about 13 times, no cap, no exaggeration, then let's carry on with this video. So this happened when I was about in the it started in the 5th grade and then it carried on into the 6th grade. So I'm just going to tell you about this whole story. And yes, I am not naked. That's an idea for a video. I am. Anyways, let's carry on. So I would say, I don't know how old you are in 5th grade, but in Canada, but yeah, so I was in 5th grade, and I remember that, you know, one day I was like out on the playground and I had seen this guy, and for the sake of this video, we're gonna call him Water. We're gonna call him Water because I just saw a water bottle on my nightstand. So, Water. I had seen Water, and he had played with like people that I knew that was like in my class in the 5th grade, and you know, I didn't really think anything of him. I just was just like, okay, cool, there's a boy there type of thing. Like, it wasn't anything like, oh my god, like I'm gonna be in love, like nothing like that. So I had seen him, and then one day like class was over and school was over, sorry, and we ended up, you know, me and my brother would stay later and just like hang out with kids and, you know, whatever. Especially we lived like 5 minutes away from the school, so we would just like stay late and just like chill with our friends. And so one day, I would say I was at this, it was like the beginning of school. And so me and my brother were out, you know, playing with our friends, and it was after school. And one day, Water comes up to me and he's just like, will you be my girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah. I have no idea who this guy is. Like, I don't know who his teacher is. Like, I don't know what grade he's in, but I said yes. And it wasn't because he was super, super cute. He wasn't ugly, but like, it was just like, I said yes because it's like, if a stranger walks up to you and they say, do you like apples? And you're like, why are you asking me this question? But yes, I like apples. It was like that. Just don't even ask. So anyways, I ended up saying yes. And so I said yes, and he ended up running away from me. And around that time, my brother was done playing with his friends, and so we decided that we were gonna go home. And so I'm walking home, and like I said, it's about like 5 minutes from the school, and I start freaking out because at this point in time, I had no idea that I was allowed to even date around this time. So I'm just like freaking out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Like, I have a boyfriend, and like as far as I knew, like I wasn't allowed to date. So I was just like, oh my god, like my mom's gonna kill me, like I'm gonna be in so much trouble. And I'm like freaking out to my brother, and my brother was like, well, just don't tell her, and like the next day you can break up with him. And I was like, you know what, yes, like let's do that, because it wasn't like I had any like actual feelings. I didn't even know this kid's name, you know what I mean? Well, I did, but like I didn't know who he was, so it wasn't like I had like any feelings, and it was gonna be like a hard thing to like break up with him. So I ended up going to school the next day, and I think I got my friend to break up with him for me, or my brother to do it, because there was no way I was gonna do it. I never did it around this time. Actually, it took me a long time to break up with people. Anyways, so I ended up breaking up with him. Now, let's fast forward to when I was in grade 6, and I was still at this school. And at this time, it was pretty much just like, you know, you obviously know everybody, like you have like your group of friends, you know how the school works, that type of thing. And it just so happened that Water happened to be in my class, along with my other friends that I hung out with all the time. That was in my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, I will have it in like the key card up above, and so you'll definitely watch that video. Anyways, so I was, you know, with my friends, and it was like a great year because my brother was in my class, because my mom always made sure my brother was in my class, and all my friends were in my class, so it was Gucci. And so I would say maybe it was like about like a couple of weeks whenever like school had started, and I was Water's girlfriend again somehow. He had asked me. And the thing about Water was that everybody knew him as the, how do I say this? Everyone knew him as the dater. And not like he got like a lot of girls because he was just so hot that like so many people wanted him, but just that like he would ask everybody to be his girlfriend and every girl would say yes. And it wasn't like they had crushes on him. They would just say yes. It sounds so stupid out loud. But like no one that I actually knew, like no one that I was friends with actually had like a crush on him. It was literally, I look like I'm naked. It was literally the fact that you just said yes to him, like, and you didn't know why. It was like you're under like this spell and you just said yes. And you guys would not like date or anything. Like he would be like your boyfriend for like a couple days and you guys would break up because you realize like, what the hell am I doing in this relationship? Like I don't like him. And the girl would pretty much always break up with him because no one actually like had a crush on him. Like he didn't give you time to like get a crush on him. You know what I mean? Because he'd ask you out like as soon as you like made eye contact with him, like he was like, okay, this is gonna be my next girlfriend. Like doesn't matter if I dated her like 3 weeks ago, it's my next girlfriend. Like that's how it was. So I remember this one day in particular, and me and my friend, I had this best friend at the time, and we're just gonna call her B. And so me and B were like super, I don't even know, like we weren't, I wouldn't say cocky, but we were like very confident at this age. And so we decided that we were going to make a club called The Beautiful People. And so me and my friend, me and B would be in this like Beautiful People, whatever. And like we made this like a huge thing where like people actually like wanted to join this like group that we just randomly like made up one day when we were supposed to be like doing work or whatever. Remember like at one point in time, so I was really bad at math. And so my teacher would have me, and B was bad at math also. So she would have me and B sit together, and she would have like one of like the smart people like helping us with like math. And it just so happened that Water is very good at academics. So sometimes he would help us, sometimes like other people would help us, whatever. And so it just so happened like Water was helping us one point in time, and he started to kind of like look at me, and everyone knows the Water look. Everyone knows the Water look when he's about to ask you to be his girlfriend, okay? So I started to notice that like Water's kind of like looking at me, whatever, and then eventually he goes back to his seat, and you know, me and B are just sitting at our collective table and just talking. And I was like, did you notice that Water is giving me the look? And she's like, yeah, like you're gonna be his girlfriend soon. And I was like, okay. Stupid, because it was like, oh, it's a done deal. Like, okay, I'm gonna say yes because I can't think of a reason to say no, and it's just so rude to say no for no reason. So I would say yes, and everybody would say yes. It wasn't even just a me thing. It was just like everybody would say yes. And so that's what happened. So one day I was collecting like all my stuff, whatever, to like go home, and it was like the end of class. And then Water comes to me, and he's just like kind of just like fidgeting, and I like look at him and I'm like, hi. And then he's like hi, and he's like fidgeting still, and I'm like, you're gonna ask me to be your girlfriend, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, what? Why would I say okay? But anyways, I did. And for the life of me, I cannot recall at all why him and I would break up and always get back together. Like, and it wasn't even like a thing where like people were like, oh, like they're back together, like there's gonna be drama. Like there was never any drama, like you never heard about it, but like people were always dating, and like him and I would never ever speak when we were together. Like, I don't know why that was, but we would never speak at all, and it would be like, okay, this is stupid. This is so stupid. So that same scenario that I just told you about happened about 13 times. I kid you not, it happened a lot where him and I would like date, and we never kissed, never hung out outside of school. We never spoke when we were together, nothing. We just would be like, yeah, that's my boyfriend, and yeah, that's my girlfriend. But like never did anything, never sat next to each other. Like whenever, you know, when your school would have like those like movie days or whatever, and you'd pay like $2 and you'd go to like the gym, and then all these classes would like all be together, and like you're watching like a movie and it's like Shrek or something. We'd never sit together for those, like nothing. And it wasn't just me, it was like all these girls that he would date that would be like my friends and stuff like that, and like it'd be like just their turn, or it'd just be like their week to date him, and no one ever, like, it was a thing. And so yeah, that was the time that I dated somebody, and a lot, and we never did anything. Has this ever happened to you? Like, I feel like it could be like a thing that happens at this age where you like don't really know, but then I also feel like this school was really weird, and things that happened at this school were just like, okay, we're gonna like let that pass, like, you know. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.